Hello viewers, welcome to today's episode of Women's View. We're very happy that you're joining us. My name is Anne Moremi, and today's topic, as usual, is very interesting, but it will also be very enlightening to most of us. Today's topic is how disability drives innovation. I have a very special guest with me in studio today, and I'd like to give her an opportunity to introduce herself. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Asige, and I am a singer-songwriter, as well as a VIP ambassador and a YouTube vlogger.
Oh, fantastic. I'd like you to please educate us a little bit on your titles. I know what singer is and songwriter, thankfully.
Yes.
VIP, you are a VIP, very important person.
Amen.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
We
you.
have a VIP in studio today.
Thank you.
Is that what VIP stands for?
Well, that, but this time it also means visually impaired person. That's the correct terminology.
Okay.
Yes.
So you are a VIP ambassador, a visually impaired person's ambassador.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. What is that about?
So basically, I am visually impaired myself, and because I am, and the opportunities that I do get through the different platforms that I have created for myself and also have been given, I've decided to use them to spread awareness about visually impaired community in Kenya, the struggles that we go through, the help that is needed, and all the other issues that we face as a community, so that other people around Kenya and even East Africa or wherever they're from can understand more about us and what it is that we go through on a day-to-day basis.
Oh.
Yeah.
And is this a condition that you were born with, or what? Tell us how you became a VIP.
A VIP, yes. So it's acquired. I have a condition called glaucoma, which is an eye condition to do with too much pressure building up in the back of my eye near the retina. So what happens when the pressure builds up in the back of the eye, it kind of eats away at the retina, and the retina is the nerves that give you vision, basically. So once the nerves are eaten away, it kind of, it prohibits you to see well. Light does not really come into my eyes as well as it used to be. So this started to happen around 15, 16 when I was in high school. In Mombasa, where I'm born and raised. I was born and raised. And at that time, I was like, clearly it's just something like I just need to wear glasses maybe to see better on the blackboard. But then it continued progressing. Every year, my eyesight became less and less and less and less. And I found myself having to read closer to the book, move closer to the front of the classroom to see properly, and not being able to see well at night as well. My night vision as well has declined. So that was 15, 16, 17. And then I went to the UK for university, and that's when I was diagnosed officially with glaucoma.
So when you were in Kenya during the period of 15 to 16 years, you didn't actually have the correct diagnosis?
Yeah, so they didn't really tell me what it was. They gave me a pair of glasses, which helped for me to see to the front of the class.
Which means
at
that
the time.
They thought that you were like, you had
just short-sighted. Yeah, exactly. So because maybe my parents as well wear glasses, so maybe they just thought it's just a family kind of genetic thing. So that's what I was given as a quick fix, rather than actually being tested thoroughly and then being diagnosed as early as I could have been.
And who gave you that diagnosis? Was it an optician or was it an ophthalmologist?
An optician.
An optician.
Yeah, which is not the same.
Exactly. Because what is the difference? You can maybe give us a little bit of education.
Yeah.
If you may, between an
If
optician,
I
if you can, between an optician and an ophthalmologist.
So an optician deals with the front of the eye, the lenses, right? So let's pretend like the eye is like a window into a room. The optician deals with cleaning the window of that. But an ophthalmologist deals with actually entering into the room and cleaning up the room. Yes, that's the easiest way to.
Are both doctors?
Both are doctors, yes. You need to go and study medicine and then specialize in one or the other.
All right.
Yeah.
And if the condition had been discovered earlier, would it have been able to cure? Or
so they could have, if they could have caught it earlier, I could have saved the vision that I had when I was 15, 16, around that time, which was much better than now. Because right now, they tell me that I'm around 80, 85% blind. So I still have some degree of sight. Like I can see lights and things, but everything is quite blurry. I describe it like a bathroom window or a bathroom mirror. You know, when you shower, it becomes steamy.
And steamy.
Exactly. So I can kind of see shapes and shadows, but nothing clear.
Well, nevertheless, I find that you're very aware of your surrounding and you're very aware of people around you. And it is actually not easy for anybody to think that you have got only 20% vision.
Yeah.
How is it that you're still able to maneuver around so easily?
So I think because I've had a lot of training in the UK when I first got diagnosed, and then also my own kind of just urge to be as normal and as independent as I can be. I have worked on my spatial awareness. So if I'm in a car or if I'm walking with somebody, I'm usually memorizing how many times we turn left, how many times we turn right, how many steps I take up, down. Like when I came to the studio, I was walking with Juma and I was memorizing like how
many steps
exactly, so that if I need to go back on my own, I can probably try to do the same. So my spatial awareness has become really good, as well as my hearing and my other senses. My touch, sense of touch is really good. If I touch something, I can kind of guess what it is, and so on and so forth. So the other senses expand,
and probably that is as a result of the vision decreasing, then the other senses actually become more enhanced.
Absolutely. I usually describe it as if you're standing in a circle, if you have 5 senses, right? If you have 5 people standing in a circle holding hands, if one person leaves that circle, the others will just have to stretch further to sort of hold hands. That's the same with the senses. So the other senses are just stretching a little bit further so that they can be even sharper than they used to be.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And so do you find yourself hearing some noises that other people don't catch?
Yeah, usually I do. When I'm sitting in a cafe, I can usually hear people's conversations, like, and I'm always just like, Crystal, stop it, don't listen, but I can't help it.
Because you're like here, but you're listening in on other people.
Exactly.
And not because you want.
Not because I want to.
Your hearing, your sense of hearing has become more heightened.
Yes, it's a bit of a superpower now.
What about your sense of taste?
My sense of taste, it's better as well. When I cook at home, you know, people say that I can still throw down the kitchen.
What do you mean when you cook at home?
I cook at home.
No,
I live alone in Mombasa.
You've got to mix. What?
Yeah,
you live alone?
Yeah, I live in my own flat. I've been there for over a year now. And
look at me, I'm like in shock.
Don't be in shock, please. I cook on my own. I do my cleaning. I do, arranging my clothes and ironing and stuff like that.
You can iron?
Yeah.
Without burning your fingers?
Yeah, I just do it slowly and on a lower heat than usual.
That is absolutely amazing. You're very independent.
Yeah, I try to be, yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about how it was for you when you received the information for you and your family. How did you respond to you were in the UK, actually.
Yes,
you were alone there? Or
I was alone, yeah, when I was in university. So when I first got diagnosed, I remember calling my parents in the evening when I got back from the hospital.
Yes.
And I tried to be really strong on the phone. Because it was something that I couldn't understand. I couldn't wrap my hand around what I'd just been told at the hospital. So I just said, Mom, Dad, nimeambiwa flani. And they didn't really understand it themselves because, I mean, if you can imagine, it's not like when you're a parent, you know how to handle your child telling you that they have like a disease of some kind,
Yes.
So they didn't know how to respond. So I just thought it was up to me to sound a little bit stronger on their behalf as well.
On their behalf, so that they can receive the news.
Exactly. And plus they were so far away. They must have felt bad that they are not there. Yeah.
Did you visit the doctor by yourself, or did you have some friends?
I went on my own because at the time my eyesight was a bit better, right?
Okay,
yeah, so that was some years ago.
What prompted you to go if your eyesight was still okay? You had spectacles?
So I just went, I was in a lecture in university, and obviously lecture hall is much bigger than a normal classroom in high school.
That's right.
So I just went to check the number in my glasses that I had brought from Mombasa, just for a normal optician checkup. Then I went to the optician in the UK, and they told me, Crystal, we don't want to alarm you, but there's something the matter with your eyes. The tests show that something is wrong. Please go to the eye hospital. Leave the opticians and just go to the hospital immediately. Stop everything that you're doing today.
Wow.
So
already
clearly,
that alarmed you a little.
Exactly. I was just like, okay.
What's up?
So I went to the eye hospital, which is nearby, and then they started putting me on some tests. And then a few weeks later, that's when they said, this is the diagnosis. It means that your eyesight will deteriorate gradually. B, there's no cure. C, your peripheral visions will start, getting much darker. So you'll be able to see like over here.
What's over here?
Yeah.
It will mostly be here.
Exactly. You'll end up having tunnel vision at some point.
Oh, tunnel, that's what it's called. Okay, tunnel vision.
So, but all those things are, it just depends how you look at it. Perspective, I think. I've learned that perspective is key to everything.
That's right.
Yeah. So tunnel vision, it's all the better for me to focus on what I need to do.
It actually helps you to focus because peripheral vision means you're looking at what's on your left, on your right,
trying to compete with people, trying to keep up with people. But now I'm like, you know what? My eyesight is in one direction.
And besides, you have your ears to be able to hear what's happening on the side as you face forward.
Yeah. So many life lessons that are shown to me through my glaucoma, for sure.
What do you like to cook? What's one of your favorite meals?
To cook? To cook or to eat?
To eat. You can start to eat and then maybe can you cook it?
To eat, I love biryani because I'm from the coast.
I love biryani too. And I know that it is a very elaborate kind of meal because you have to prepare let's say if you're doing, do you like chicken or beef biryani?
Well, actually, I'm vegan.
Oh, you're vegan?
Yeah, I don't eat meat.
There's vegan biryani?
Well, you just use vegetables and then you take out any dairy products from cooking in it.
Nevertheless, it has a lot of procedures because you have to use card.
Yes.
And you're able to do all that by yourself at home?
Yeah, slowly. Like I say, things are a bit slower for me nowadays. I can't do it like toop, but
either way, you're able to throw down and actually have a meal.
Yeah.
Next time I'm in Mombasa, I'm going to call you and I'd like to have to eat what you have prepared.
Welcome,
I'm not sure I'll reciprocate, but maybe if you teach me very well, I'll try.
I will.
So I like today's topic. Today's topic is very positive because it's, who would actually think that disability can drive innovation?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit of the innovation that has come up in the world because of disability.
So the first thing that I discovered after being disabled, which was really encouraging to me, is that text messaging was actually invented because a friend was trying to help his friend communicate better over the phone. Because back in the day, we used to have those rotary phones.
Oh, right. That's right. I remember.
And obviously, for someone who's deaf, you can't talk, you can't hear. And so somebody invented a device whereby you could actually write down sentences and then send it over. And that was because his friend was deaf.
That's why we have text messaging.
And now everyone uses it like
I know, and who would have thought? Something that has become so common, so convenient. Wow.
As well, the automatic car as well was invented to help people who have no use of their legs still be mobile.
Yes, so because you actually just use one leg. So if one of your legs is disabled, that's the only one you use
for
driving.
Or you use your crutch to press the accelerator and so on and so forth.
Yeah, because actually driving a car that is manual requires a lot of coordination, your hands, your legs. So automatic car was built to help people who were disabled.
Originally, yes. And now, us Kenyans, we can't live without them.
I don't even know who still drives. Okay, there are still a few people who insist that they can only drive if it's a stick shift, but there are very few. And actually, it's hard to get such a car in the market nowadays.
So yeah, things like that.
We have a lot of reasons to celebrate disability.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think that something that is negative is going to be negative all the way.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of positive things that are coming out because of something which would be viewed as negativity.
Yeah.
As negative. How did you...
I was going to say, because if you think about it, any problem that we've ever faced as a human race, you need to have a creative mind to solve that problem. That's so same with myself or anybody with a disability. If I can't do something the way I used to be able to do it, now I just have to be a bit more creative.
To be able to do the same thing.
Yes.
And that brings me actually to the next question for you. What had you gone to study in the UK?
I studied film and theatre in the UK.
Film and theatre?
Yes.
To be a producer?
To be a producer, yes.
So
production management and also in theatre, production and also acting. I did both.
All right.
Yeah.
And did you still end up doing that in the UK, or did you change your course when you discovered that you were now a VIP?
I continued through it because I discovered in my first year, that's when I got the diagnosis. Okay. But because they're so supportive out there and they are more, I think, accommodative of students with disability or with any kind of difference in the UK, they really supported me and they asked me, what do you need? We'll get you this. If we have to make classes a bit longer for you, if you need extra time, come in. So they were very encouraging and very supportive. So I was able to finish the degree.
Wow,
and,
well done.
After
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
After that, thankfully, the BBC snatched me up. So I worked in the BBC for 3 years as well after that.
You actually even got a job after that.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
It is, right?
And in not just a job, but in a job in the field that you wanted to be in. You actually didn't make any changes out of your career intentions.
Yeah,
You simply like you say, became more creative in knowing how to be able to do the same thing.
And the same thing, yes, exactly.
Wow.
And so yeah, the time at BBC that I spent was really good, and they showed me so much, and they really kind of put a fire in my belly to say that, you know, just because you have this doesn't mean that you can't still pursue what you want to. Because if you could get into one of the biggest organizations in the world, then what can't you achieve?
What can't you
really,
achieve?
so long as you have the right support, yeah.
And were you working in the UK, or you're now back in Kenya?
That was in the UK.
Oh, that was in the UK. So what prompted you to come back from the UK to Kenya, and I'd also like us to talk about how Kenya is in terms of supporting VIPs. But before we get to that, you can tell me what is it that prompted you to come back home?
I came back home because first of all, home is best. Yeah, exactly, right? There's nowhere be like Africa, like I was singing on the weekend.
That's true.
And then also I kind of felt that it was a burden, not a burden, but it was sort of like a weight on my heart to come back and share the knowledge that I have been able to receive. And then also not just for people, young people who want to get into creative industry or media, but then also for the disabled community to see somebody like themselves still pursuing what they would like to pursue, especially with something like a film and theater and television. It's a visual art.
It's very visual, very visual.
Exactly. So I just wanted to show, you know, just because I can't see doesn't mean that I can't find a way to still do this visual art and to still try to be successful in it as I can. Yeah, so those are kind of, and plus I just missed home, like you said.
I know you missed home. You were away for how many years?
7 years.
7 years, yeah. 4 in school and then 3 working.
Yes.
And when you came back home, what did you decide to do? Did you get employed again, or did you now start your own
So I tried to go into employment.
How was that?
It wasn't great. I'm not going to lie.
Tell us the truth and tell us how we can change the situation, how we can innovate at the workplace to make it better for VIPs.
Oh, goodness. So when I first came back, I was, doing the same, just as anyone else, looking for jobs, CVs, going door to door, emails and stuff. My CV was good enough to get me into an interview.
And you had experience.
And I had experience.
Yes, and not just experience, but experience at the BBC.
Yes. So that was good enough to get me into the chair in the interview room. But then when they saw that I was disabled, because I never used to write it in my CV that, I am disabled.
You wouldn't.
Because I wanted to give myself to see, would they accept me with my credentials alone?
So it would be a surprise. And how would their reaction be?
They wouldn't say it with so many words, but it was more like, okay, well, we'll call you.
It would be the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
And did you get any calls back?
I didn't get any calls back, no.
Ever?
Not from the places that I went to. So.
And mostly media houses, or?
Yeah, here in Nairobi, the ones that we all know and love.
I know. Let's not talk about.
Let's not. Yeah. I'm healed.
Okay,
yeah,
I know. I can imagine the rejection and your disappointment. Here you are. You've studied for it.
Yeah,
you have experience for it. You've even gotten your degree in the UK, which is probably more advanced in that kind of industry. And then no jobs.
Yeah. So
how long did you search for a job for?
It was about a year and just over a year.
Yeah. That's quite a long time.
It's quite a long time, yeah. And my confidence, definitely plummeted.
I can imagine.
I was like, maybe I can't do this. Maybe it's not possible. I used to tell myself, and that's when depression started to kick in my life. When I wasn't getting a job, I could see my peers, moving forward in life, and and here I was the one who went outside of the country, and I've come back and I'm still in the same place.
You had invested so much. Your parents had invested so much. You had also invested a lot to continue to do what you wanted to do, but then now you couldn't get a job.
Yeah. So.
But thankfully, that is not the end of the story.
Thankfully.
Amen. Tell us what is it that caused the upward turn?
It was an evening. So I in my depression, I went through times when I thought about committing suicide as well. Because
that was so terrible.
Yeah, because I just felt I didn't feel like I could be able to do
to belong.
Yeah, I didn't think that I was able to kind of get through.
Did you have a support system that helped?
My family.
Your family.
My family were definitely the best support system that I could ever ask for. And
bless God for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send
and God Himself.
Thank you, family. Crystal's family. Thank you.
And of course, talking to God, prayers, a lot of arguments. To be honest with you, I did a lot of like, God,
why the why question? Why me? Why now? Why this?
Yes.
Was that helpful?
I think it was helpful to get it out.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Honestly.
one of the things that I tell people when I go to like talks, to give talks about depression or by my journey, is that I advise that it's okay to express yourself.
It is.
Don't feel ashamed that you feel down or feel low, because everyone goes through those moments.
It's true.
And it's better out than in.
It's better to talk about it instead of bottling it in, where it affects women more.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I did a lot of, back and forth with God, and I just, at one point I just said, you know what, God, if this is what you want and this is what you have for me, then fine. So long as you are the one who helps me.
Okay.
In the Bible, you tell me that you'll be the light to my path.
Yes.
And the lamp to my feet. So, and that if I
better
walk
come
by
through.
faith, exactly. I said, fine, you do it. That's exactly how I spoke to.
And guess what? Doesn't God love it when we actually give Him all and ask Him to lead us?
Yes, absolutely.
So He came through or not?
He's coming through. All the I'm here. I'm sitting with you. I mean, so He's definitely coming through.
We thank God so much
Yes,
for His faithfulness.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is it that you're doing? Did you finally get a job or?
So now I work for myself. I have my own company, which I opened it just this year.
Well done,
called Chemi Chemi.
Chemi Chemi is like water trickle?
Exactly,
Water.
it's like a fountain.
A
like
fountain.
A spring,
Okay.
yeah. So
What is it about?
it takes care of production, so live productions like music, speaking, the stuff that I love to do basically.
You're still
And also
doing film. You're
consultancy.
still doing a visual.
Art, yes.
So I applaud you for sticking to your path.
Thank
that is
you.
really, really encouraging.
And I also do my vlogging as well. It takes care of my YouTube vlogs, my
Yes.
Blind Girl Manenos series on YouTube.
Please check it out, viewers. Blind Girl Manenos on
yes.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just talk about that is like my gift to people who are like myself, who needed to see somebody like them kind of
Yes.
doing it, and
Somebody who's thriving.
yeah.
Yes.
So what I talk about is just things that all things VIP. Like
Okay.
how do I, like you are asking, how do you cook? How do
I
you clean? How do
know.
you travel? How do you go on dates? How do you, and so I talk
You
about all of
basically
that.
do everything that a person who
Basically.
is not a VIP actually does.
Yeah.
In fact, when you were coming today, you used an Uber.
I use an Uber
I
to
mean,
get
you
here.
even are digitally aware. That is so impressive.
So yeah, that's what I kind of talk about on there, and I also talk about issues like how we need to get more accessibility support from the government,
Yes.
and how good are the infrastructures in our country for us to walk around, how accessible or how good is education, how many
Yes.
schools are there for people with disability, funding, all those kinds of things. I talk about all that on my YouTube channel.
And what has been the response so far on your vlogging?
It's been really good. I've been spotted by Kala Mutoko,
Wow.
Jeff, Koinange, Jalango. I've had so many people ask me to come on to their shows and stuff to continue to talk about it, because it's a conversation that needs to be had.
That's true.
It needs to be really loud, because
Very loud.
people are really suffering. People are really suffering.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
But look at you here. You are actually opening the doors for so many people.
Yeah.
And once I'll keep applauding you during this show. I'll keep celebrating you,
Thank
because
you.
what you're doing is actually very helpful. And you call yourself a singer-songwriter. Do you actually have songs out there?
I
Have you
do.
written songs for people?
I do.
So it's actually true. It's not a futuristic kind of
not
thing.
It's not like a
current.
5-year plan. It's
Oh,
happening
it's not a
now.
5-year plan. Okay.
So when I'm not doing my ambassadorial work, my VIP ambassadorial work, I am singing and songwriting. I have my songs as well on YouTube.
Yes.
On the weekend when we met, I was singing one of my songs as well.
Yes, I had you. It was
And
lovely.
thank you.
Yes.
I also songwrite for other artists, both locally and abroad as well.
Ooh,
So
you do international gigs, girl.
hey now,
Look at you.
I'm just saying.
And you know what? Sometimes I wonder, would you have actually come this far without being a VIP? What do you think? The shows that you've been on, the talks that you've held, the people that you've met, the influence you're having,
Yeah.
do you think it would have been just as much if you were not a VIP?
I don't think so.
So
And
look-
that's the beauty. That's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of God and His plan.
Imagine.
Even though I
Yes.
couldn't see it back when it was first happening, He was like, "So don't worry,
I have a
got you.
plan for you.
Yeah,
And the
I've got
plan, the plan that God has for us
Yeah.
is usually way better than the plans that we have for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And it's not a plan that will hinder you. You see, it's a plan that is actually
Propel
in
you.
line with your goals, in line with your dreams and your vision, just bigger.
just
And
way
better.
bigger, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
me
I would never would
too.
have dreamt that I would be sitting here
I know.
at all ever. So
Congratulations once more.
thank you.
All right. So, what else did I want to ask you? What are there still some challenges that you face despite all this positivity?
Challenges I face, I think it's more about people's mentality.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, just the man-made boundaries, man-made stereotypes, that people can't get their head around the fact that actually I am able in many ways that even they're not able.
Exactly.
And that disability is driving me to be more creative and more innovative than they could even like imagine me to be. So I think just if I could start from changing people's minds through platforms like this and be just myself. My character is still the same.
You're still the same person.
I still have a brain that works.
You do.
My heart still works.
Your
my spirit
creativity.
still works. Yeah.
You're a very interesting person.
Thank you.
I hear that if somebody wants to meet interesting people in Mombasa, you're one of the ones that is talked about. Can you imagine?
I would never
Look
have
at
thought.
that.
Yeah, things like that. So it's just because my eyes don't work doesn't mean that I'm not, you know, functioning as well as the next person, you know.
In fact, you're functioning at a better, to be honest, in my opinion.
Thank you.
I think so.
Yeah. So
and I don't think I'm biased.
One of the things I like to say is that I have glaucoma, but glaucoma does not have me.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of my life mantras.
You have overcome glaucoma, because there are certain people that such a situation would actually would overcome them. They wouldn't be able to push on.
Yeah.
So, who are some of the people who? Okay, you talked about family. Other than family, are there maybe other? What other support systems do you have in place?
Well, family, friends, and I also am in a couple of groups, VIP groups as well, some little support groups, but I feel like there could be definitely more. And then also, I also try to look outside of Kenya as well for inspiration and motivation. Did you know that Bill Cosby has glaucoma?
No.
Whoopi Goldberg also has glaucoma.
Really?
Yeah. There's the group U2, the lead singer of U2, Bono. He has glaucoma as well.
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm like, these guys are doing it big.
They are doing it very, very big, and well, maybe for them it was also discovered early.
Yeah, maybe. But the point is that they're still.
So maybe it's one of the things that happens to people. What does that mean about you? Where are you going? Those are the people that are
they're
your
in my
inspiration.
trajectory. Yeah, I'm like, by the way, Whoopi.
Good for you. Here I am. Watch out. I'm right here.
So it
and
makes
she's actually also in film.
Exactly, yeah. And she
actually,
does
all the people you talked about, Bill Cosby, yeah, Bono, that's
they're performing.
Music. Yes.
Yeah. So if they can do it, I'm like, it's possible. Clearly, it's possible. And I would have loved to have had those kinds of people, but locals. See, you know, so that I can see, like, a Kenyan is doing X, Y, Z. So I hope that if there is a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old who is going through struggles like myself, they can maybe see me and be like, you know, I can try as well. You know, she's saying that it's possible, so I can try.
Yes, and if you're able to influence one such person, then you've done a lot. You've done a lot.
Yeah.
Now, maybe we can talk a little bit about glaucoma. What can we do to prevent it, if anything?
Yeah.
What can we do to find out if we have it? Because it seems to have just happened on you, you know.
So glaucoma, they say that it's genetic, so it's in my bloodline. So if there's anybody in your family that has it, they recommend that you get tested yearly, once a year minimum. There is a glaucoma week that happens every year in March time, where you can get free tests around the country. This year that I participated and I led a glaucoma campaign over that week. So every March, please go to any eye hospital and you can get checked for free. And once you do that, it's just about carrying on to check. And if you find that you do have glaucoma, the faster that you find out, the better it is for you. You'll be given treatment, medication, eye drops, anything that you might need, depending on how severe it is for you at the time.
And basically, if you have the eye drops, because I do know one or two people who have eye drops that they use on a daily basis, and somehow the pressure does come down.
Yes, exactly.
Or is regulated, but they, of course, keep going. I think they go for checkups every month. Yeah,
you need to, so that you can be on top of what's happening. Because glaucoma, it's known also as the silent thief of sight, because it has no symptoms.
No pain, no tearing,
no redness, no headaches. It just comes
So there's
gradually.
nothing that would prompt you to see an ophthalmologist.
Exactly.
Which means that, I guess, as part of people's checkups, they should actually just go to
an ophthalmologist. Don't just go to an optician, because
go
like
to
I
an
said,
ophthalmologist. Yes.
go.
An optician will just give you spectacles.
Exactly, yeah. And so because it's a silent thief of sight, that's why I didn't think anything of it when I was 15, 16. Because I was like, nothing is, I don't feel pain.
And when you're given the spectacles, it seems to correct the issue.
Exactly.
Yes.
It was helping me at the
temporarily.
time. So definitely get yourself checked, have your family checked. If you are somebody like myself, if I have children in the future, then I will definitely be taking my kids regularly for checkups, because it's in my bloodline. And not just your immediate family, but also uncles, aunties,
extended family, because
also,
once something is genetic, then the pool is way wider.
Exactly. And then I would also advise that people get more educated on eye conditions.
Yes.
Because there's so many different ones, and at the moment we are talking about lots of conditions in the country, right? We're talking about cancer, we're talking about all kinds of like diabetes, high blood pressure, but the eyes are not being talked about enough, and it's something that really affects a lot of people. And it affects like how well you do in school, because if you can't see, you can't read. It affects how well you do it at your job, if you even get a job. It affects how well you can take care of your children if you have children.
It affects everything.
Exactly. Your eyesight is so important. Yeah. So
I'd like to tell our viewers that Crystal is here for us. Kindly send us your questions, your comments, your encouragements to her on our SMS line, which is 21144. Anything that you'd like her to tackle in the second part of the show, this is your chance. So please keep your comments coming. We're about to take a short break. And once we come back, we're going to have even a more vibrant conversation with our very special VIP guest, Crystal Asige. Thank you for being with us. Keep it here. Thank you very much. Remember, our SMS line is 21144, and today's topic is disability, how disability drives innovation. Crystal,
yes.
What inspired you to write that song? One of the lines is very... Are you the one who wrote it?
I did, yeah.
So you wrote the song and you also are performing it?
Yes.
The words and the music?
Yep.
Fantastic. The fact that you feel safer, it's like an oxymoron.
Yeah.
You can see clearer now.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason I wrote it is because, like I was saying to you, I've learned so many lessons through this condition, and it's interesting how God gives you the most important nuggets about life in everyday kind of situations.
Yes.
And because I'm very spiritual and I love the Lord, there are verses in the Bible that really, they're not just verses in the Bible, they actually are very practical.
Yes.
Like walk by faith and not by sight.
Exactly.
So I have
sorry to interrupt. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. So faith is a very key part of spirituality.
Absolutely. And actually, my white cane, I walk around with a white stick, a white cane to like navigate. And I've actually lovingly renamed it Faith. So I call her Faith because I walk with faith everywhere I go. I have to walk with faith. So when I wrote that song, it's very practical because he is the one who leads me.
Yes.
He's the one who guides me, and because of that, I see clearer than I even ever used to. Because I'm now using his vision.
Yes.
And I kind of feel like God has taught me that spiritual vision comes at the cost of physical vision, because in physical vision we're distracted,
very distracted by what we see with our eyes. Yes.
You're distracted, you're not focused, you're very vain, you're judgmental, you're cynical, you're scared, you're fearful. So now that my physical vision has been taken away, it allows me to focus more on the spiritual things, which are more important.
Unseen things.
Exactly. Yes. Things like love, compassion, empathy, patience, confidence in him, and just trust and faith, and being able to just say, you know, actually I need some help.
Yes,
Because
being able
sometimes
to be
we feel
vulnerable.
that, vulnerability is so important.
You're more aware of yourself.
So there's so many lessons.
And your strengths. Now
Yes.
that one thing that you thought was very important was taken away from you, it has actually enhanced everything else in your life.
Yeah. And that's something that I hope people will see and will understand more of, because I've been given a very direct lesson. Every day is a lesson for me. I'm always a student every single day.
Yes.
I'm like, gosh, God, that is
You
an
keep
interesting
learning.
lesson, which I wouldn't have learned otherwise,
You
for
wouldn't
sure.
have.
It'll take
That's
me
very
maybe
true.
until I'm 70, 80, 90 to understand the things that I'm now already understanding.
The
And
wisdom you have is actually immense for your age.
Yeah.
I happen to know your age, so I know that you are way wiser thanks to this. Okay.
Yes, so I'm grateful.
So how many songs have you written so far? Do you keep a count?
I haven't kept a count, but I did an EP, a short sort of introductory album back in 2014, which is out. But this year I've written a few songs that are on YouTube, and I'm still writing. In fact, yesterday I was in the studio, and this whole weekend I've been in the studio, different studios, writing for myself and other people as well, which is going to be very exciting when it comes out. I'm hoping. Yeah,
we're going to be looking forward to your album. Do you have an album out already?
Not a full album yet. So I'm still doing singles.
Yes.
And then when I'm done with that, I'll compile them and make it into a nice body of work, which I'll be putting out.
And then you start doing your tours.
Girl.
Please keep us posted on your international tour. We want to come. Thank you. I will call you up on that one. I shall not forget.
Do.
Oh, we are such a huge group of fans, and we wish you all the best in your career. So when did you start singing? Because you sing very well. Have you done music as part of the, have you studied music?
I didn't study music. I have never studied it. I just, my mom tells me that she first started realizing that I could sing when I was about 4.
Okay.
Because I used to come home from nursery, and instead of crying about those who were bullying me, I used to sing about it. Yeah, I used to scream.
That was more effective.
Yeah, it was more, for me. It was interesting. It's quite profound because I'm how can a 4-year-old be so, like, instead of crying, you're singing.
You actually songwriting at 4 because you're looking at your experience. It's inspiring you to write.
To express it. So
she'd always be wanting to listen to your song of the day.
I used to come and go, mommy, Steve is mean, or things like that, or whatever it was. I can't remember.
Steve, I hope you're not watching us.
Steve.
Either way, you at least inspired a song from Crystal.
Yes.
Oh, that's when she actually took note.
Yeah, and then from then she was basically my momager. Not a manager, a momager.
What is a momager?
She's
is it
a mother manager.
Actually, when I met you over the weekend, she was there. Is she your manager up to now?
She's my biggest fan. She's my everything. She does my hair. She does my nails for me. Everything that I need to do that she can do, she's there for me. So she's there also by my merchandise. When she's selling my CDs, when I'm on stage, she's there. Come and buy my daughter's
yes, and the T-shirts, which have a very good photo of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So she used to take me to like churches. My daughter, she can sing.
I know, like
how mamas do. Yeah, that's what she was doing.
I know. It's not like you would volunteer. She would volunteer you on behalf of the family or something.
And even in her company functions, she'd be like, "Can my daughter sing at the function this Saturday or whatever?"
And how did you like that, or did you wish she didn't do that?
When you're a teenager, you're just like, "Mama,
really? You're telling everybody, come on."
And my only request, I remember she used to tell me, remind me, even until today she reminds me, my biggest request was, fine, I will sing if you get me chicken, chips, and Fanta orange. That was my contract. That's all I wanted.
That was easy for her to do. If that's all it's going to take.
Yeah, so that was my payment.
Okay, that's good. Mama Crystal, we salute you for raising such a champion, because I know that the confidence that she has largely comes from you.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm glad that I actually have met her, and she's done a good job. I can attest to that.
Oh.
What born are you? Are you the firstborn or?
I'm the last.
Oh, you're the last born. Baby of the family.
Yeah, I'm the baby.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
All right. So, would you like to sing in the show? What do you think? Are you prepared?
I would love someone to text it and give me a song that they'd like to hear me sing. If I know it,
all right,
I'll try and sing it for them.
Oh, a song? Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Please, viewers, this is the point you need to come through. Which song? Can you imagine? This is the challenge she's given us. Which song would you you'd like her to sing. She's that confident and that able. So let us know if we have any viewer who is going to be texting in so that we can be able to get to hear more from Crystal. So what else did I want to ask you, Crystal? I actually wondered whether you have an aid to help you when you walk. I was about to ask you if you have a dog or if you, but you mentioned that you have a
cane.
cane.
Got a white Faith. I walk around with Faith.
Yes.
Yes. But actually, I'm trying. I really love dogs.
Yes.
I really love dogs. I've always loved dogs ever since I can remember.
Do you have some?
I do have some at home.
Okay.
But they're not guide dogs. Not trained for
that purpose.
For the use for visually impaired persons. But and that's
are those available in Kenya?
That's something else that I'm actually looking into, because there's no.
That's an opportunity right there.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't find any.
There are no organizations that train dogs for people with visual impairment.
So it's one of those things that is only in the movies for us here.
Yeah,
I thought it should be available. Okay.
It should be. So that's one of my bucket lists as an ambassador. I want to look into that and see how I can hopefully maybe get that conversation going. Because the closest place to Kenya is Botswana.
Which is quite fine. You'd have to import
and then South Africa, exactly.
Did you have, of course, in the UK, such things are very easy to access. Did you ever have one?
I didn't have one because I was a student. I couldn't really afford it.
It's expensive,
It's expensive to have a dog when you're a student.
And you see, this is not just a dog, but it's a trained dog.
Yeah, you should really take
They can actually do what would such a dog do for you?
So they would, once you apply to get a guide dog, you would go to the organization that you've applied to, and they would pair you up with a dog that maybe is a height that's good for you. Maybe you just tell them, I'd like this kind of dog, etc., etc., etc. They pair you up with the appropriate sort of match.
Okay.
And then after that, they get you to walk around with the dog, get to know the dog first of all, and just have
a relationship, a long-term relationship.
Exactly. So you go. I think it's like a 4-week training.
Okay.
Yeah. So you go back and forth to the place, and you get. They teach you the commands, what to say. Sit, stand. Different countries, depending on what language you speak. If you speak French, you'll speak French to the dog. If you're a German speaker, you speak German to the dog, and you get, a dog that understands those kinds of commands.
Okay.
And then you, after learning how to command the dog, you will be taught how to walk up and down streets with them, and they'll get to train the dog on your daily routines. So, for example, if I live near a kiosk that I always go and buy tea leaves at or something, or coffee or whatever, bread, then they would train the dog to be able to walk me to that particular kiosk, no other kiosk.
That particular one only?
That one, yeah.
Wow, dogs are very intelligent.
They're very, very intelligent.
Wow.
And it's a
and then they're also very warm and they're also very social.
They are.
Yeah. And take you to that one particular one.
Yeah, so if you have a shop that you really like to go to, or maybe your workplace, the dog will be trained to memorize that route so that you can get to that place specifically. And then if there's a new place that you want to get your dog to understand, you will go back to the school, the dog school, and then you'll get that training done. So you just keep, it's a continuous thing.
It's a continuous thing as you grow and as you develop. And can it just go to one place, or it can go to a couple of, how will the dog know, for example, that I want to go to the shop now, and now I want to go to work?
Because you'd give them different commands or different stimulus. So for example, maybe you might give them a biscuit to let them know that you want to go to the supermarket to buy food.
So
that they'll know when they get
associate.
Yes,
intelligent.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's a lot of training, a lot of detail.
Yes.
And I would really love if a Kenyan organization could start this, because so people could be helped. It could help people be so much more independent.
Exactly. And I don't really have, the numbers. How many people in Kenya are visually impaired?
So there is an average of 4.4 million who are disabled. That's all disabilities.
Okay, all disabilities.
But they haven't been categorized into, because there's so many disabilities. There's mental disabilities and also physical disabilities and sensory ones, like mine. Mine is a sensory disability.
Oh, it's not physical?
No, so physical is like legs, arms, something that you can see.
Okay.
Sensory is like hearing,
to do with the senses.
smell,
and a lot
sight.
of, so 4.4 million is quite a sizable number.
That's 10%, about 10% of the population.
That is definitely something that should be looked into to be able to make you to be more independent, because sometimes the reason that people are not is because they don't have the resources.
Absolutely. There are the resources, the assistive software technologies. They don't have support in the workplace, like, for example, corridors or buildings that are accessible, like with lifts, elevators, braille
ramps.
on the
ramps. Braille, yes, like in the lift.
Exactly. That kind of stuff is so important. They're very small,
but they make a whole world of difference to the person who's using.
Exactly.
We have a viewer who would like you to sing a song by Masi Masika.
Okay. Oh, do I know?
This Ngomma. Do you know the song? Ngomma?
I don't know it. I don't know all the words. Oh my gosh, I'm so
Umekuwa kwangu.
Okay, I'm really sorry for you. Oh my gosh, I've given myself a challenge and I can't even do it.
I thought you know all the songs
It's
in
like
Kenya.
I should know all the songs.
Okay, which are the song that has Masi Masika done? Pardon? Sitekete. Have you heard that one?
I have, but the words.
By Angel Bernard. Anyway, as you think about a song to do, there's a viewer who is asking, what are the challenges you've gone through? Because, you know, I'm sitting here with you, to be honest, and one of the challenges that you've gone through is you could not get a job.
Yes, one of them.
Despite your training, despite your experience, because a lot of times when you're applying for a job, they want you to have experience.
Yeah.
You had both that, but you never were able to get a job. So that's one of the challenges that Crystal has had to go through. And it's a challenge that, in a way, I'm happy that you didn't get a job. Because the fact that you didn't get a job means that you have so many entrepreneurship things that you have started, opportunities. You're a songwriter, you're a singer, all those things. Do you make money from those things?
I do make money from those
well
things.
Well done, girl.
It's taken a long time, though, to make money from them because, you know, you need to, you know, grow your credentials and grow your client base and, you know, be someone authentic, you know. But it's slowly, you know, I'm trying. It's not like I'm not a Bob Collymore, but I'm trying.
Yes.
I'm trying to get there.
All right. So do you have any challenge that you can think about? Another challenge you talked about is the perception that people have when they're receiving you. It's like for them, they're not the ones with the disability, but they cannot get over the fact that it is there. Yet you have gotten over it and your life is moving on.
Yeah.
What are the challenges? Is there something you cannot do, for example? Can you swim in the ocean?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do. One of my hobbies is swimming. I still swim.
Wow, I love swimming too.
I also have to go with somebody. I might float out and end up in Tanzania somewhere.
No way. No. I always tell my children when we're in the ocean, make sure you can stand.
Yes,
but also you see there's the issue of drifting and
So I still do like swimming. I still go dancing. I really like dancing. I still love dancing, so I still do that. I love reading. I love traveling.
Reading. Oh yes, of course you use
audiobooks.
Audiobooks, of course. Yes.
So now I use audiobooks. Thank God for technology.
How do you pick your phone? Like if I'm calling you, you won't be able to tell it's me.
I do.
How?
I have Siri on my phone, the voiceover.
Oh, Siri, of course.
Yeah,
so she tells you who. Oh, wow.
So when you call, it says, Anne. So then I'm like, oh, hi, Anne.
Wow,
like this. Yeah.
Well done.
So even texting as well, Siri helps me to read the text. If I select a text, she'll just read it out for me.
Okay.
And that's the kind of stuff. I actually have a video about that on my YouTube channel, how I use my phone to text and email and social media.
Even email?
Yeah. Because
okay, so the viewer is asking, what are the challenges? It seems that there are none, other than not being able to get a job.
Yeah,
in which case
back in the day.
Back in the day.
I mean,
she dates you. Are you dating someone?
Oh, dates. That's a like, challenge, but then that's more like I say, mindset of people.
Yes,
sometimes
the person who you're meeting.
The person who's who I'm meeting up with exactly.
One of the things I've noticed about you is that the color of your eyes has changed. Is that something that has happened gradually over time, or tell us a bit?
Yeah, so my eye color is blue. Have you ever met a black chick with blue eyes?
This is the first one, girl. And it looks good on you. I'm even wondering, the first time I met you, I was like, are you wearing contacts?
Yeah,
because some people wear contacts of different colors, green, blue.
Because the thing is, because I've been able to see before, I have those, it's called eye tracking. Okay. Like you were saying before we went on the show.
Yes.
You were saying, how can you're actually looking at me
You're
as
following
I walk across.
Me, yes.
It's because I'm used to being able to like follow someone, because I've been able to see before.
Yes.
So I can kind of, when I'm talking to you now, I can kind of tell where your eye level is. So that's why I'm trying to look
because
at
you're actually looking at me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I use your voice to kind of tell where you are.
How far away.
Exactly. So people, when they see me for the first time, they're like, oh, that girl's got blue eyes.
Oh, yeah.
They don't think anything of it until they realize, and they're like, oh, it's because she's visually impaired, so her eye color has changed. Yeah. So
it's something that has come with time.
Exactly, yeah.
So I basically, I cannot hear a challenge. Can you imagine this girl is that positive?
Disability drives innovation.
And innovation is what we need.
Yes, so whatever challenge I do come across, I do try to somehow problem solve it.
Okay.
That's I think the main message that I'm trying to get across.
Which song are we going to sing? Who's one of the artists that inspires you, or that you like? I'm sure there are many.
There are many.
Yes.
Yeah, there are many. Should we?
You can do a Swahili song. Maybe?
Swahili song. Okay. Let me think.
And one of the viewers is visually impaired, like you, and they're actually wondering, can they get in touch with you? Are you on social media?
I am on social media. I am on Twitter, Crystal Asige, Instagram, Crystal Asige, Facebook, Crystal Asige, and then also YouTube, of course, Crystal Asige. And they can DM me anytime. I've got my email address as well on Instagram that they can also email me on. Yeah.
Do you know Hillsong?
I do, yeah.
Do you know What a Beautiful Name? Can you sing that for us a little?
Heart.
Love. All right. Okay. We don't have a lot of time, so please sing a little. I'm going to cut you short at some point, but please go ahead.
You are the Word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a beautiful name it is. Nothing can stand against. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus.
Yay! I'm clapping on behalf of the person.
Song.
It is awesome. I love that song too. I'm almost wondering where the tissue is on set. I wanted to ask you something. We don't have a lot of time, so you can start thinking about your parting shots.
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, your voice control is excellent. You've not even done
vocal
training.
I haven't ever done vocal training. I've never formally done music. Yeah.
It is something that you should consider doing for others.
Really,
you know, like classes.
Yeah. I do classes. Oh,
you do?
You know, through like friends and friends' kids at home, Mombasa. But I've not been able to really like advertise myself as a vocal coach.
Because your voice control is awesome.
Thank
what
you.
What voice are you?
I'm an alto, but people say that I'm actually a soprano. They're just saying, so you're being lazy, you're being an alto. Come on, and I'm like, I like alto.
Please give us your parting shots. We can stay here on and on and on because you're such an interesting person.
Thank you.
Yes.
My parting shot is God's gift to you is your talents, and your gift back to God is using them.
Okay.
So please, time is really of the essence. I found that that's one of the lessons that I had to learn the hard way.
Yes.
That tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Yes.
You never know what's going to happen. So use what you have right now.
Yes.
Stand up right now and do it. Whatever little that you have, don't ask for money. Don't look for money or experience or people. If you have it, just take one step, and God will keep leading you. He will be the light to your path in whatever field, whatever area that you're trying to explore. And I would also say mindset. Your perspective.
Your mindset is amazing.
Your perspective is really important because it's the way that you see something that determines how far you take that thing.
Okay.
If you see it as a challenge, it will remain a challenge. That's why when you said, what are challenges?
We actually couldn't come up with any challenges.
I'm always
can you take photos?
I can take photos because Siri, if I put it up, Siri will be like, okay, focus or move left or a face or
all right, there you have it.
So yeah, perspective. Change your perspective. Change your mind about something. If you're not happy, it's because you're not seeing that thing in the correct perspective.
Yeah, the issue is not the thing. The issue is how you're perceiving it.
Exactly.
Your mindset about it. And that is something that is within your control to change.
Absolutely.
You may not be able to change. Like, for example, you cannot change the fact that you are a VIP, but the fact that cannot change you are a VIP.
That
there you have it.
So yeah.